Yo, what is up, everyone? This is the Funsie Pod. Heck yeah, son. Today, we are joined by a special guest. You may
Braeden
know him.
Sides.
Yeah, yeah, Ben beat me straight to it. I personally have not really met Braden before, but I know of him, like followed him since he started putting out stuff like the beginning of this year, and pretty stoked to talk to him. But Ben, I mean, you basically like stayed with him for like a portion of time, isn't that right? At Garrett's house?
Yes, in Garrett's. I'm in Sajko. I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't say Braden. I said Waden. It's just
That's
a
what I
joke
thought.
because there's a guy
Oh,
on tour. So I just wanted to jump you to the punch and say the wrong name. But
amazing.
there's another guy on
That's
tour
funny.
named Waden Sides. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I met Braden at. You were playing in a beat here in Texas, the Hooligan Discs Open, and
Yep.
you stayed at Garrett's house. You, Joey Buckets, and Drew, and yeah, we just kind of got to know each other through me. You trying to fix my putt basically, and me smashing putts into the garage.
Did it work?
Um, Honestly, I'm still not a great putter, but I'm way better now. But so before I was putting with like two hands, and apparently I before I putt, I would move my fingers and then putt. So he
Yeah.
was like, "Bro, you're doing something super weird," and I had no idea I ever did it. And it really made me kind of think about my putt more and go more in a straight line because that was a big thing. Like you and Joey Buckets, when you guys putt, it's like you're falling through like at the basket. I was like out here. So
I remember that, dude.
yeah, it
Wait, you
was
were putting
brutal.
sideways?
I don't know, but this is where my story goes. So I'm like thinking about my putt, I'm like, dude, this is impossible. How do you fall through at the basket? So then, thanks to a bunch of people, even Nick Carl helped me out. Decided to switch to straddle. I'm like, dude, I'm a straddle putter now. They start going in. I'm like nasty, and that works for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, bro, this is horrible. Like this is annoying. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to stagger putt, and my natural stagger putt when I went back was it like I was fixed. Like it was completely different. I was falling through at the basket somehow. I'm putting like nose down, up and down somehow, or like at it, but like nose down as opposed to on hyzer and like super just like spinny. And it was just what felt natural to me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna question it. I'm just gonna stick to this putt and run with it. And now I don't putt with two hands. I only putt with one. So tell
Dude,
us
you
your
heard it here
experience
first.
with that, Braden.
Wait, tell about what?
Just about what when you first saw me, in the hijinks, you were probably thinking like this boy
Oh yeah, yeah.
trash.
Well, no, you were putting, and I remember your follow through being very funny. But I remember you asked me something about putting, and I got in between you and the basket, and I was like looking at your fingers, and like literally like this on a disc. You would do like this little number with your fingers or
Dude,
something,
I know exactly what
and
you're
then you would
talking
go.
about.
It was
That's
so
hilarious.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So enough about me. Let's. It's all about
Yeah,
Braden.
yeah. We got you for a limited amount of time, and I did actually come up with a fair number of questions. So take as little or as much time with each of them as you see fit, really. So the first
Sweet.
one, we've asked a couple guests this question, and I think it's just a funny, reoccurring thing to ask guests that come on. So I want to know what your wildest or weirdest experience is on the disc golf course, or like maybe someone said something just off the cuff completely to you, or anything pop into your head.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I
Oh,
have
please.
one very vivid memory. It's kind of like X-rated. Is that okay? I'll keep it
Yeah, as long as you keep
censored.
it like PG to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're fine with it.
No
Okay.
swearing.
Yeah,
No
no, I won't do
saying
that.
I murdered this man.
No,
You,
no, no, I won't do that. So basically, one of my home courses, it's Lake Olmsted, and they hosted the 2006 Worlds. When you're walking down hole number 16, you have to throw over the water, and you kind of have to walk around the water. And when you're like halfway up the fairway, there's this little like stone wall thing with a bench inside. And I'm playing league with me and like four of my buddies. And as we are walking, we look over to this stone wall thing. That's like it's like looking out over the water, but everything behind the wall is like blocked. So if you're behind the wall, you can't see what's in front of it.
Right.
Um, and so I think you kind of get where I'm going. But there's these two people just
So just having
just
fun, having
have,
a grand old time.
having a good time. We'll we'll keep it at that.
Dude, that is unreal
Why has
because
that happened twice on this podcast?
I've only asked this question to one other guest. It was Joseph from another round, and he had like a very similar recollection. I
No
guess like
way.
just yeah, yeah. He just like goes into a tree and he's like, "Oh, okay. Like my disc is right next to you, so
But
you can
the
keep
way
that, and I'll see you later."
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
you describe it, Braden, it seems like it was like in the wide open, just behind like this like wall, like this
Dude,
like small wall.
it it's in a public park. It was literally like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, like the like sun outside, and it, I don't know. They were. It was very interesting to say the
Dude, must
least.
have been must have been beautiful to yeah to really be feeling that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, that's amazing. Ben, do you want to do like an icebreaker, or do you think we should just move on with like other questions and then you and I can kind of do
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. Let's move on since we have them for the next hour. So
Yeah. So I did end up watching Jomez with you
Mhm.
on lead card, just because I wasn't able to follow, a 4 hour round. And you mentioned in that prior to disc golf, you were a business major. So I'm kind of curious, what made you like pursue that? And like, if you weren't disc golfing, what do you think you would be doing with that, really?
Well, so that's what I told them is that I was a business major, but actually prior to being a business major, I went into college being a music education major. I wanted to be a
Oh,
teacher.
let's go, dude.
Yeah. So I wanted to be a teacher and like throughout college I had been playing disc golf, but I never really like considered it to be anything more than just a hobby. But
Mm,
then like my in between my sophomore and junior year, like I started getting pretty good. Um, I was definitely like one of the best in my area, and I kind of realized that I could take disc golf somewhere, and so I decided to switch to business as a major,
mm.
thinking that I wanted to continue college. Um, and then yeah, like I said in that little intro, there was one day I was in a business class, and I was like, man, if I want to be one of the best disc golfers in the world, like I just need to go out and do it. Like I need to experience everything, every single thing I can, play in every tournament I can, and like devote all my time to disc golf. So yeah, that's kind of where that went.
Yeah. So if you were going into like educating people about music, that must mean
Hmm.
that you play an instrument or something like that. So
Right.
so
Yep.
what do you play?
So I did band in like middle school and high school. I played the trumpet.
My dog.
Yeah.
See, that's nice. Um, yeah, Ben, do you have anything?
yeah,
Otherwise,
just
I can.
follow like because I had a similar experience to you, not disc golf wise, but business major wise. Like my first, I don't know if I've said this, talked to this before, but like my first class ever in business. That's where I went into school for. I sat down as like business 101, and there's this guy. He was like all dressed up in a suit, just this older guy, yeah, I don't know. He's not gonna listen to this, but I don't. But basically, like your average, just like business guy, like just like like when they're in their 40s or 50s, and I'm just like in there listening and talking. I'm like, dude, I do not want to work in an office for the rest. Like, what am I doing here? I had like an existential crisis the first class I've ever went in. So then immediately I switched to environmental science, and that lasted for a semester. And then I went back to business because I realized like, dude, I can just start a business. I don't need it. But like I had like that existential crisis. Like, bro, like I don't want to be like not like this guy because he was like a college professor. He was obviously very smart, but like I was just thinking, you was picturing him and picturing me being like him, like just like working in an office corporately, and the stuff he was talking about, I was just like, man, like that's tough. So then yeah, I ended up getting switching back and getting my major in marketing and management. But
Mhm.
it's so fun. We had a little similar experience where it's just like you're in business class and it's like, bro, like this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And sorry, so my question was that I was supposed to ask was what, like, at what point did you drop out? How far along were you?
So my first 2 years in college, I was still music ed, so I was like kind of halfway done with that program. and but I was also doing like gen eds and stuff, and I was also taking a lot of classes.
And
So
what made you switch?
um,
Sorry, if you want to, can
to
just to add, what made you switch?
yeah, so well, I kind of like I decided I wanted to pursue disc golf, but I
Okay,
also at the time thought I wanted to continue to do college. So I was like, well, music ed really doesn't do anything for me if disc golf is the route I want to pursue. Business is a bit more of like a diverse degree, I guess. Like
correct. Yeah.
so
Totally.
I was like, I'll get that, and um, but with business, I really wasn't that far along before I left. So if I were to go back, it would probably take me like 3 years to finish.
Hmm.
Dang.
Dude,
So
Hmm.
that's crazy. Go ahead, Sacco.
dude, I was gonna say like Braden, you're like 22, right? So you're like a young dude. So I like have a lot of respect for you just being in college, being like, why am I doing this? And then just completely altering your path. Because I think it's really common for a lot of people to be like, well, this is what you do. You go to college and then you just keep doing what you're doing, and then eventually, I mean, hopefully not, but some people just work at a job their entire life that they're like, I hate this, but I need money. So like,
Yeah,
why do you think that you were so like from such a young age, you're just able to be like, just see so clearly and just be like, no, this is what I'm doing.
I've just kind of like always in life known uh, what I wanted to do, and like, or anytime there's been something that I want to do, I've like pursued it to the fullest. So like with music, like I practiced constantly, like I wanted to be the best.
Hmm.
Um, and so like when I got the itch to do disc golf, and like I really saw potential in it, and like saw the potential that it could be a pretty cool lifestyle, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go all in, and you know, like I said on the little intro, it's like the opportunity to be young and athletic is going to come and go, and so it's like I might as well take that opportunity and run with it, because it's like life is too short to just constantly be worried about the future. Like I want to try and pursue stuff now.
Um,
Completely. Yeah. I was just gonna say quickly on this show we get way too deep all the time, just talking about like do what you want to do. So yeah, that definitely resonates with us as well. Go
Sick,
ahead, Ben.
love it. Yeah.
yeah. So talk to us like just timeline wise. Like when you dropped out of college, what was your rating, and then how soon after were you on the pro tour? This is your first year, correct? I know you
Hmm.
were a rookie or close to being rookie, Paul Kranz, but last year I know you were close to being rookie
Hmm.
of the year, the PDGA rookie of the year.
Yeah, I
So is it?
was.
Yeah. I was just saying, is this your first time full year touring, or is it second?
Yes, yeah. This is my no. This is my first full year on
Oh,
tour.
okay.
Last year I played like two Elite Series
That's
and
what I
two
thought.
majors. Yeah.
But yeah,
Heck yeah.
But
sorry,
you
I
said the
confused you.
timeline? You
Yeah,
wanted the
yeah,
timeline?
the timeline. Sorry, I confused you. Yes, the timeline of just like
You're
what the
good.
rating was and like how far
So
soon after.
I left I left school in November of 2022, and I was probably like 990 something maybe. And then um I like the next year I just went and played a bunch of A tiers, um and then, a couple of disc golf pro tours, and I got to 1,000 rated probably. I think it was after Throwdown the Mountain, which was in March. So I think like the April update maybe was my first 1,000 rated, and then I ended the last year at like 10, 12 or something like that, and then yeah. Now I'm at like 10, 15, but that's because I've been sucking it up recently. I was like 10, 20 in April of this year.
Hmm. Dude, that's awesome. So as we kind of mentioned before, so this was your first time on Jomez. So
Hmm.
you want to like share your experience of that?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny reflecting on it, because I remember. So speaking of Paul Kranz, I played the first round with Paul,
Nice.
and I was playing pretty well. Coming down the stretch, I think I got like two bogeys. Um, I missed hole 16. I missed hole 17, and or no, no, no. I bogeyed hole 17. So now I'm at like 7 under. I looked at Paul, and I was like, I think I have to birdie 18 to have any kind of chance of being on the lead card. And then I birdied 18. Um, and then, once all the scores came in, I realized I was on the lead card. And then I started to like, dang, like this is going to be pretty cool. And I started to think about it a lot. And I started to kind of get nervous.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and then I stepped up to the first tee, and it was like, dude, I've done this like 1,000 times already. It's like this is no different. So I settled in pretty quick. But it's funny to like think about how nervous I was leading up to it, and then I started
Hmm.
playing, and I was like, it's just disc golf, dude. Like this isn't anything like super duper special.
Yeah. So, what exactly are your takeaways from that experience? Then, did you like learn anything while doing that, or yeah, I don't know, share anything about that? I suppose.
Yeah, I think just like experiencing it will benefit me in the future because I
Mm.
think I'm gonna have many more opportunities to be in that position. Um, and honestly, I'm pretty proud of the way that I performed despite the score I got. Like, I think I was really close to playing a great round, and it was uh it was fun. I don't think I got too far ahead of myself. I tried to just kind of stay calm, stay present, not think too much about the mistakes that I made in the past, and it was I definitely felt like a professional that day, and so I think there's a lot of good takeaways from that experience.
Completely. Yeah. Was that like one of your goals, like coming into this year, was to like make it onto like a Jomez lead card?
Yeah, I actually have a little notebook of all these like year-long goals, and one of them was to get on Jomez. So it's funny you mentioned that. I get to cross that off. I forgot I did that.
See, that's got to be yeah, that's got to be such a good feeling. Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Ben, do you have anything? Otherwise, like, because like I said, I have
Yeah, no,
multiple
yeah.
questions.
I do have questions, but I'll I'll ask them when they more relate to what I'm gonna ask.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. So are you still traveling with Joey currently?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, at the moment, no. He's in Europe.
Oh,
So he'll
right,
be.
right, yeah.
But when he comes back, like I'm gonna pick him up in Chicago in 2 weeks, and then we're doing the rest of the tour together. So
That's great.
yeah.
So like, how would you describe the importance of having someone like that on the road and just like traveling in disc golf? Because I feel like I imagine it's probably pretty important to have someone that you can like lean on and just talk about your round or just even just hang out and just be boys.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely fun. Joseph is he's an awesome guy, and it's definitely nice just to have somebody to like split up the drives and split up the cost of things. It definitely makes it like more cost effective, and but yeah, no, it definitely makes it less boring. That's for sure. Because if I just had this RV to myself, I would be sitting here doing nothing a lot. And so Joseph and I will go do fun things together. So it's definitely nice.
Yeah, right. I mean, doesn't Paul Kranz like travel by himself? Am
Yeah,
I?
he
That's
he has his
insane.
own little van. Yeah, it kind of stinks, but he also is good about like he'll park near us sometimes and hang out in the RV with us. So
Yeah, man. Just all about like community and like going to hang out with everyone. I assume that's like half the appeal of like going out and even just for myself, like going out playing disc golf, just hanging out with buddies, just like a good medium to be able to do that.
yeah, for sure. This is it's a pretty cool community we have.
Yeah, exactly. So funny enough, my wife is like Castaplast by far is her favorite brand, and it has been that
Sweet,
way just for like the last year and a half. So anytime that she sees like a player that's signed by them, she's like, "Oh, what's up? Yo, that's pretty sick."
sweet.
So what what am I trying to say here? So if for whatever reason people haven't checked out Castaplast, like kind of what's their deal, and like
Mhm.
what disc should people check out?
I think Castaplast is regarded as one of the companies who have like the best feeling plastic. Anytime people
Hmm.
talk about Casta, they talk about how good their plastic feels, and I 100% agree. I think they make a lot of great discs. I'm really in love with a lot of their slower discs. So the yarn is super good. I putt with the K3 Hard Reco, super good. And then one of the discs that I'm absolutely in love with, but I'm like so sad that they took it out of production is the CAC Z.
Dude, I
It's
know.
yeah, well, it's one of Joseph's favorite discs, and I remember last year when I wasn't with Castaplast, like I would watch him throw it, and I was like, dude, like what's up with this disc? This thing is sick. And then yeah, as soon as I signed with Cast, I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out because this disc is awesome.
Yeah, dude, that disc absolutely shreds. Um,
Actually, right here I
so
have a Braeden Sides Berg,
Oh, sick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
and
the Berg. Duh. How did I forget the Berg? Everybody loves
the
the Berg.
Berg with your stamp. This is your stamp. But funny story.
Yeah.
This is when the first time I met or even talked to Braeden, it was at like a just like a hooligan disc party or for the open. It was just like a players party, and I started. Our first encounter was actually pretty awkward. If I recall,
No.
I was yeah, it was. I was like talking to them, and I was like, yeah, yo, like I'll support you guys. Because we just had like, full concept. We just had Joey on Staggered Stance the week before. I didn't know Joey. I was gonna meet Joey and Braeden the week after. So then, I started talking to Joey, and Braeden was next to him, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll support you guys both." And then Braden's describing his stamp to me, like what it means to him, and like midway, like someone's saying something, and I'm like, and I just start staring at them, and I thought they were trying to talk to me, and I'm just like, and then Braden's like, "Are you paying attention?" And I was like, "I am so sorry, dude." Like that was one
Oh,
of the
that's so funny.
more embarrassing thing that's ever happened, dude. And I was thinking about that for like a few minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm an idiot, because it was just like, it's one of those things where like something's happening, and I was like, and in my head I was like, is he talking to me? And I'm like thinking out to all these things, and then forgetting that, oh wait, I'm literally mid conversation with Braeden.
That's funny. I vaguely remember that. That's so funny.
It's funny, yeah. It's like it's funny how that worked, where it's just like not a big deal to you, but to me, I'm like, dude, I am the biggest idiot. But then, yeah, I still copped the Berg regardless. At that point, I was like, dude, I have to
Heck
cop
yeah.
this disc now. Like, it's just like I have to make up for
Right.
for literally zoning out, because I just literally just spaced out while he's describing like his whole home and what it means to him, and like the flowers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's funny.
Dude,
That's
speaking
so
of the
funny.
Berg, like why is it like popular to hate on that disc? Like I don't really understand it. Like maybe it feels somewhat different, but I'm kind of confused like why people are just like it's like the cool thing to do. Yeah, I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, I think maybe because it's unique feeling, but I know Joseph Phillips hates the Berg.
Yeah,
Oh
It's
yeah.
like I don't know if he okay, I don't know if he genuinely hates
I
the
think it's a
Berg,
good meme.
or if he just hates the Berg as like a a social thing, like
Hmm.
to you know what I mean, like trying to be like mainstream or something. Yeah, yeah, a meme. And so it's like I don't know. I love the Berg. I think the Berg's a great disc. People
Yeah,
would be better if they threw the Berg.
yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. I think yeah, like you're saying, he just kind of does it because he understands that people are passionate about it. So to like to run with it, it's just like obviously people are going to comment on it and do whatever.
So, Braden, follow up on the Berg. What do you said you love the Berg? It's a great disc.
Mhm.
What do you personally use it for? Is it your only approach putter, or is it more unique and specific?
I'll use it for like very short approaches, or um, like I know that if I throw it as hard as I can, it pretty much only goes around like 230 feet, 240 feet. Um, so if I have like, a shot that I want to throw at 230, 240, I'll use it for that. But little like scrambly approaches, I'll use it for. But I use the Recco. Like the Recco is another approach putter that I use a little bit more often.
So, is the record Recco more like a flip up, just straighter? Or is it more kind of stable?
Yeah, well, the Recco is just like a more traditional putter, so it goes a bit farther than the Recco, or than the Berg
Berg,
rather.
yeah,
Um, and so yeah, yeah, I can throw that up to like 320, but I'll also throw it as short as like 150.
got it. Sajko, go ahead.
So I was wondering if because people have their own perceptions of what they might take away from based on like social media or just whatever they hear. So what are some common misconceptions that people might have about being a pro disc golfer or just being a part of the disc golf pro tour?
I feel like a common misconception is that it's just like super fun all the time, and that it's like kind of easy. Um, and it's definitely not. Like it's a grind. At least, well, maybe I should put it this way. It's like the pro tour is pretty much as easy as you want it to be, but you're only going to get in what you or you're only going to get out what you put in. So like, if you're just out there to have fun and enjoy the experience, like, maybe you'll play okay occasionally, but you're never going to win. Um, and
Right.
so like I feel like the people who play the best are the people who are like really grinding it out and like treating this as a job and treating themselves as athletes. Um, And so and when you do that, it's like this gets pretty difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of remarkable just how many things have to go perfectly for you to travel from stop to stop. I mean, like there have been multiple people this year whose vehicles have blown up and just had issues, or
Yeah.
maybe you get an injury, and so it really is just kind of amazing, like what it takes, like a certain amount of luck involved with like combined with your skill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know Paul had like a in Waco, he had his car like
Yeah.
this big ordeal,
Yeah,
which is pretty bad. And so like it's crazy how one tiny little thing like that can really, throw off a lot of things.
Um,
completely.
I got a question kind of following up on that. So one thing disc golfers don't really mention a whole lot about is like finances and financial wise. It's important in my opinion to like put into your Roth IRA at this age and kind of save up, and because you can be a lot more riskier in your investments and in saving up and stuff like that. Talk to us about kind of like the financial side of being a kind of like a up and coming like a starving artist. That's what I would see you as, a starving artist. Talk to us about like kind of those struggles of financially, what it takes to be on the road and how you make up the expenses.
Right.
How you
Well,
yeah, you got
so two things. One, I try and be really frugal. So I try not to like go out to eat often. I try and make food in the RV. I also don't really go out and like do things that cost a lot of money. So like I only really spend money on necessities, which I think is like the first important thing. And then two, I'm fortunate enough to have uh, pretty good people supporting me, and so like my tournament entry fees are paid for, and I have a good bonus structure. So like my good performances are rewarded, um, and so like the combination of those two things make it work. But definitely as like an up and comer, it's important to be financially responsible and realize like uh, what I need to be spending money on and like what I definitely don't need to be spending money on.
So would you say you're kind of breaking even right now, or do you think you're kind of like saving a decent amount?
I'm like I'd say like just above breaking even. I'm saving like an okay amount. Um, and
But
so
I think
but
that's
by the end of
okay.
the year it'll be good. Yeah, oh for sure, for sure. That
Yeah.
was
'Cause,
kind of
No.
like,
my
Yeah.
goal, was just like break even for the year, and then once I've already had a decent year so far. Like I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular, but I've certainly had some good performances. And so by the end of my value is only going to increase this year, and so like next year I'll have a better contract, and finances will slowly become a little bit easier.
that's great. Yeah, it's like it's an investment, right? I mean, you're
Yeah,
Hmm.
putting this in and trying to save as much as you can until it pays off. I mean, that's really all you can do.
yep, for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted bring that to light. It's like it's because he's in a unique spot, and I think we always interview like on Sajko Stands. We always interview pretty much like the winner or like the up and next like the star and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think it's good to get a perspective of kind of like that starving artist who's like I'm struggling right now financially or just breaking even, but I'm doing it because in 5 years I'm going to be making very comfortable money, and I'm sacrificing it now. And yeah, I think it is important. I think anyone, I mean, it's basically like a business. I mean, you got to sacrifice all the business I started up. You sacrifice your time and money and a lot of things, and then in hopes that 5 years from now you could be kind of more cushy and successful and stuff like that. So
For sure. Yeah, that's how I view it.
Those business classes coming in handy. Yeah, but it's
Facts.
it's easy to talk about, like the $1 million contract, yada yada. But it takes like a lot of work and time and like the things that you're doing in order to get to that point. So yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about it. But I
Yeah.
can I can move on to my next question. Oh, so like what players? Because we see players and we have like our favorites. So like, what are your favorite players that every time that you see them on a card, you're like, oh, let's go, dude! I can't wait to play with this person, or just like a couple individuals.
Yeah, it's fun. funny enough, I got to play with him this week, which was pretty cool. And I got to play with him on the lead card. I love playing with Matteo. My
Oh
first time
yeah.
playing with him was last year in I think it was January, or not January, like February or March, something like that. We played in Florida on a lead card at an A tier, and I was like, dude, this guy is just awesome. So Matteo, I love playing with him, and then I love like getting to play with my friends, like people that I grew up playing with. So like Joseph, Evan Scott, Jake Mon, like playing with people that are from my area, Micah Groth, like these guys, I would consider my good friends. So it's fun playing with them.
Yeah, I figured that was the more like kind answer, because at the same time I was like, I'm sure there are people out there that you see them on your card and you're like, oh man, I got to play with this dude today.
Who are
But yeah,
they?
we're not yeah, we're obviously not gonna cover that. But I
I guarantee
imagine
someone
they're
came to
out there.
mind though. He looked up and a
Yeah,
and a
exactly,
light bulb
dude.
came off.
No,
Man started
it
smiling.
no, it's very rare that like I'm playing with somebody that I don't really want to play with.
Well,
But
that's
I
good.
also like I don't really care. Like I'm kind of just in my own world when I play.
Completely. Yeah, I think that's important. Just kind of go with the flow, because it's not like you can change anything about it anyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, you mentioned like that you play the trumpet and stuff like that.
Mm.
I maybe you're still doing that, but probably not on the road. Like, do you have hobbies or things that you like to do outside of disc golf?
Um, I like fishing. I've been getting into fishing this year. So like Drew
Oh,
and I will try and fish like at all the spots.
Yo, Ben is he's about to send you out a bunch of fishing
dude, I have
equipment
a.
because
I think we
I don't
talked
know.
about this, but I own a bait and tackle store. In the town that Maple Hill is at. So and
Right.
it's pretty big.
Yeah, I remember that.
We'll set you up and help you out and maybe take you fishing. And you should try and fish on Maple Hill because no one fishes it. And I could imagine there's some big old bass in there.
Mm. Yeah, we should go. That'd be fun.
Heck yeah. And like off camera, we kind of talked about Connecticut because no one ever does. And you can go to Greater Hartford Disc Golf Open, A tier, and go get a sword, because you hear some pros talk about. I know Ricky got a sword. Bradley Williams did. Fish got one. So if there's any
Heck
reason to go
yeah.
to Connecticut, I guess it's that.
That's a good reason. I want
If
a
you
sword.
win.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, bro, you're an A tier
He will.
grinder. That's why you played at
Hmm.
the Orioles of B tier, but the Hooligan Disc Open.
Dude, I played good there too. That's probably one of my best tournaments of the year.
Yeah, you played really well. You came in second. So
Hmm.
I I have some questions. Just like for the people that are listening to you, and kind of want to be in your shoes. What advice do you have for them to what it takes to make it to the pro tour? Like, kind of take us through the mentality, the practice routine, and just how you were able to get as good as you have gotten. Just take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a common consensus, at least for a lot of the people in my life that I've like seen go on the pro tours, like you kind of just got to drop everything and really focus on disc golf. It's hard to multitask and have multiple things that you're focusing on and expect to really like get to the highest level in disc golf. So I think if you can do that, then that's the first step, and then just like constantly be practicing, putt every single day, throw almost every single day. It's like disc golf is the main focus in my head, like almost 24/7. And so I think that's kind of what it takes to get here. And then obviously just like go and learn, like go play tournaments, go lose tournaments, like learn why you lost and go figure out how to win. Um, and yeah, just like constantly try and learn
Hmm.
from every experience you get playing.
I was curious. So I'm sure that there are some people on the pro tour that are kind of outspoken about, you know, X, Y, or Z about a course or this or that. Are there people that you like see them make comments like that on the internet, and then you're like, oh, this guy is so lazy. Like, why is he complaining? Just like go out there and go do it, guy. Like go do your thing. Obviously, you don't have
Yeah,
to name names, but I'm just curious, like, because we see what we see, but then you're right there on the grounds at all times, like seeing you
right.
interact with these people on a daily-ish basis.
Yeah. So not really. I feel like most of the time, so we have like a players page on Facebook for the Pro Tour where we can all like discuss things that need to be discussed, and like it's kind of just turned into like the Disc Golf Pro Tour complainers group, um,
Mm,
where people are just like constantly complaining about things on the course, and I think most of the time the complaints are justified, but like occasionally it'll be like, dude, like this isn't that big a deal, bro. Like just chill out.
right. Okay.
But
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
most of the
I was just
time
wondering.
people are good about it.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Ben. That was all my questions. If you have any more, then yeah, obviously by all means.
Um, talk to me about your form, Braeden Sides.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
They say in disc golf, some people say it's just holding the disc in place and striding away and then ripping through.
Hmm.
Some people say
Hmm.
you're reaching back. In your opinion,
Hmm.
what are you doing with the disc to get the full maximum distance? Are you just holding in place and getting that slingshot, or is it more just like reaching back and then going for it?
Yeah, I never feel like I'm like pushing the disc away from me, but like I feel like my body is getting away from the disc, and that's like how I create the reach back. Uh, yeah, my form is like it's kind of interesting. Like anytime I give lessons, I don't like try and teach them what I do. I try and teach them like a more like textbook way of doing it. But yeah, I think my form is unique, but it's good. Like it works for me. Like I'm
Yeah,
good at
well,
throwing.
so when we first followed each other and became friends, I kind of went down in the archives as one would do, of like kind of like your earlier days of playing, and it
Yeah.
seemed like you had a like a completely, not completely, that's like over, but you had a different form, in my opinion, that than
Hmm.
what you have
Oh yeah.
now. Is there any, like, just talk us through that? How did that change? Was it intentional, or is it just like what felt more comfortable is what you have now?
Yeah, I even looked at like videos from last year, and I was like, holy crap. Like you can definitely see similarities, but there's a lot of like big differences. Um I think last year I kind of had like a little bit of a rounding problem, which I don't really anymore. Um but I think that my form has just evolved and gotten to where it is because I just like have focused on like being accurate. Um And so I haven't consciously focused on changing my form. I think my form has just changed as a result of like practicing a ton and like practicing on hitting gaps, and I don't know, like my body just kind of like figured out what to do.
Are you saying that there's no quick one fix to getting good form? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I feel
No,
like,
no, I
yeah,
think
go ahead.
there's like a stock form, I would say. Like, I mean, if you look at Gannon, he's very like methodical, and he's
Mm,
very like form oriented, and maybe that's why he's like so successful. But so I mean, yes and no, I guess. It's like there's like good form, I guess, or like good form, but also it's like everybody's body is different. So you kind of have to figure out like how you throw and what is effective for you, you know? Does
Yeah,
that make
that
sense?
yeah, that
completely.
100%. Because it's funny because when we had Joey Buckets on Sager Stance, I think I because his form's not like unique. It's unique, but it's not like bad unique. Like it's kind of just like it's definitely different though. It's like it feels like he's not even like really even the disc doesn't even go back that far. It's kind of he kind of keeps it compact. Um, and I was asking
Mm-hmm.
him that, and he was like, "Yeah, I never really ever thought about form. It's just like I try to hit the gaps, and that's what came of it." So that's basically what you're saying. Just like after you
Yeah.
got that like base level formula, like okay, this is what I do. Then as you just stopped thinking about it, you just naturally started getting a your own kind of like unique style just from what felt comfortable trying to hit the gaps.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you like, you said that you like help give lessons to some people. Do you like doing that? Or is it, because I know I've heard some other people be like, I just kind of say like what everyone else says like you're supposed to do. And then like hopefully that kind of helps people. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
No,
do you like
I
doing that?
love yeah, I love giving like one-on-one lessons, and no, I've never done like a clinic, but I've only given one-on-one lessons. But I mean, like I don't know. I think it's a cool way to just kind of give back to my community because my community's been super awesome and like offering that to them. I know a lot of them uh, have enjoyed it, and so like and when I was growing up as a disc golfer, it's like it would have been cool to have something like that for me. So yeah, I
Right.
love it. You know, it's a way to connect with the people in my community, and also kind of helps me too. Like think about the different aspects of throwing and putting. And it's like okay, you know, it keeps me sharp too.
Mhm. Yeah, completely. Ben, if you don't have anything
Yeah,
else, then I mean,
that's.
our man, I know he's gotta get going.
Is
He's got a
Jake Mon
nice.
there?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, Braden has a breakfast date with Jake Mon because they both
Mhm.
played so well at Des Moines Challenge. So they got to
Yeah,
talk
my
about it.
guy got top five. That's so sick.
Yeah, I saw. That was awesome. Congratulations, Jake. But yeah, Braden, thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if there's any last shout outs you want to give out before we let you go.
I want to shout out my sponsors: Cast Plast, Another Round Disc Golf, Circle One Disc, um, Pure Disc, Drive Bags, Dirty Birdies, and Eagles Wings.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Dude,
Thank
we're happy
you.
to have you on. It's nice
Wait,
being able
so
to meet you. And
Thank you guys.
I actually you were signed up for a tournament Circle One Classic in Maine. You decided not to head up. I thought I was gonna see you
Yeah,
there.
I wish I could. I really wanted to go. But I so next week after KC, I'm headed back home. I'm going on a bachelor's trip with my buddy.
That makes sense.
ooh,
So
And yeah,
mhm.
I wouldn't have seen you anyways. I'm not going, but like I was thinking about going, and I was like, oh, Braden signed up. Sick.
uh, yeah,
nice.
yeah, no, so it didn't work out. But
All right.
yeah,
All right, man.
Well,
Go enjoy your breakfast date.
sweet.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I'm sure we will
Thanks
talk
for
to you again in
joining.
the future.
Thanks for joining the most
Heck yeah, thank
chaotic
you guys so much.
Funsie episode ever. For people don't know what's in the background, but my Wi-Fi is cut out every 20
That was
minutes.
fun.
So, and it's like cutting out a little bit now, but you know, we'll make it do. But thank you, Braden. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed.
Sweet. Peace out, guys.
Later.
Adios. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was he I'm very fortunate that he's just like a super cool guy and like my friend, and we've
Yeah,
chatted on
yeah.
this like the side before. Because if that happened with like someone I didn't really know, I would have been so embarrassed, just kind of like the
Crying.
Wi-Fi just like cutting out every 20 minutes and me having to be like, guys, hold on, sorry. But yeah, my home Wi-Fi is struggling, so I'm using my mobile hotspot, which is also, it's working. You can hear us, but it's struggling. So at least we could record this podcast. But yeah, shout out Braeden. That was awesome. He's go follow him on all his socials at Braeden Sides DG. And let's get into the icebreaker, the late icebreaker.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, Braden and I had plenty of time to talk to each other in between Ben's Wi-Fi going out. Like for you guys, hopefully it's all cut together, everything's fine. But yeah, really good dude. Yeah, just kind of like a tiny chill icebreaker at this point in the episode. I think I mentioned it somewhat before, and Jay Millie kind of answered it in the episode that we were talking about ourselves, sharing things that people might not know. But I figured I would ask it because it's just you and I today. So, something you cared about that you don't care about anymore in disc golf, maybe like when you were getting into it. If you have something, you can share, obviously, and otherwise I can share first if you would like, because I wrote the question, I had time to think about it.
Yeah, and we should probably mention Jay Millie isn't here today.
Yeah, hopefully they understand that by
He's
now.
on vacation, so
Yeah, he's not super quiet for listeners. They're just like, yo, what is this dude's deal? Is he okay?
But yeah, you go ahead first. Something I used to care about in disc golf that I don't anymore. You go ahead first.
Yeah, mine was very similar to Josh's in that I think I used to really care what people would think, and that was just in life, not even just disc golf in general. And I'm speaking more from the perspective, I guess, as like putting content out, because when you're recording something and you're putting it out there in the world, people have free reign to say whatever they want about you, and I can see how people would have anxiety about that. And I don't know when it happened. There's no particular thing that I think I could point to. But all of a sudden, I was just like, I'm just not embarrassed I'm not embarrassed about putting myself out there and making myself look dumb or bad at disc golf, or I just try to be myself, which I know a lot of people are just like, be yourself. And I really do feel like I kind of put myself out there and just let my personality, because like, yeah, my content is obviously disc golf, but at the same time, it's like balanced between me and like me joking and whatnot. So yeah, don't really care about that anymore. And I think it really helps me somewhat shine amongst other creators. So I guess I'll give myself that pat on the back.
Well, I'll
Benny?
pat you too.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, for me, like, I, I, I don't know. In disc golf, like, I've had that, like, stopped caring about what people think, earlier in my life, not disc golf related. And I think that it's super important. It's important, obviously, to an extent, if you don't want to be like just like a tool, like I don't care what you think, bro. But like
yeah,
yeah,
but you
where
know
it's
what
like
we're saying.
putting yourself out there, it's like scary, but you gotta. I mean, if you want to chase your dreams, you have to put yourself out there. And at the end of the day, the people that are hating on you are the ones that are scared themselves, that never went out there and did it, because we all realistically we all have these aspirations. Every single person has the aspirations. There's the people that do it and the people that don't. And then there's also the people that try and it doesn't work out. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of these haters are just people that kind of like have had aspirations of their own, and it's just easy to project kind of your insecure, negative feelings on others that are trying to do something that you were too afraid to do. So, anyways,
Yeah.
tangent.
No.
For me, something I don't care about anymore in disc golf that I used to care about. I don't know. It's tough. I guess it's validation maybe. Kind of just like
No, it's a good one.
yeah, just like, before I thought I had to meet all these pros and like make my name out there and stuff like that, and like really try, and that there's a credibility to that, because I don't think I'd get my initial start if I wasn't networking and stuff like that. So I'm not saying like that is important, but I'm saying now that I've established myself a little more with just like the expos and stagger stands and stuff like that, that I'm not as much like thinking like, oh, like I gotta go talk to this guy, I gotta be his friend, I gotta like go make it. It's more just casual. Like if I see someone of notability or anything like that, it's not as much of a like, oh, maybe this will happen. It's not like as opportunity as if when I first started out and had nothing and it wasn't on Saga Sansa, because I knew I wanted to be in disc golf. It was just like, whoever would give me the first chance. It's more just like now it's just like, I just want to be kind and friendly to everyone. And if something comes of it, cool. If nothing does, which most of the time it doesn't, and we just talk, then that's dope as well. And I guess I wasn't really talking too much about validation, but more so on the validation side. It's just like, I've been successful at a few things, so it's I'm a little more comfortable, kind of just like where I'm not as like, I'm a little more comfortable mentally, where it's just I've done these things, I've proven I can do it to a lot of people, and it's no longer, I guess I'm more talking more from the expos. Honestly, this whole
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
From this whole thing, I'm talking more from the expos. When I first started the expos, it was like I was sales pitching and to like
you had
companies,
something to prove.
and yeah, it's something to prove, and and I still have something to prove. Don't get me wrong, I still, I'm doing a whole new expo. I still a lot, but I guess I'm just more secure, as in like, okay, like you can do this. Like you're not as like, oh my goodness, like I was scared to ask people to vend, like, and stuff like that. I would just put myself out there, and was like, no, like you can do this. It's not a big deal. It's just like they're humans too. So that's, I know that was like a super kind of like classic Ben Kenny, just saying the same thing over and over again.
I'm glad that you're like self-aware of that. It makes it funny. No, it's okay.
Because
I think it's.
yeah,
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying because it's just like being more secure, knowing I've had 2 successful expos. I guess it's more belief in myself that like I can do this, and I don't know. I don't even know if validation. That's why I'm really like getting tripped up. I don't think validation
No,
is
I
the
don't
right
know.
word. I think
No, I
it's
think it
more
is.
just like I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to explain.
It's okay. I think it's always important to strive in whatever you do. And the moment that you stop doing that, I think you are potentially not even passionate about what you're doing anymore. It just helps you continue to get better. And I think the people appreciate that. They appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
So we should probably talk about DMC, unless it sounded like you might
Yeah.
have had something else you wanted to add to that.
No, I was just following up. Like I think it's just confidence. I got more confidence, and I let go of less confidence. That makes more sense to me in my head, rather than validation. Because I do need on some level people's validations, or else these expos wouldn't work out. So I guess I got more confidence that I can get that validation from companies and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like nothing has changed other than your perception of how you approach these things.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
My perception. I'm less scared. Like
dude, we got some storylines. We got some storylines.
Yeah,
from
hey,
DMC.
dude, I've covered the Pro Tour. You go ahead. Go ahead. You can lead this the storyline.
So we'll start this course. Beautiful. The pros love it. It seems like the people that go there to view it love it. And it's such I can't think of a bad hole really, like one that's like that needs to go automatically. Just really enjoyable, where it's just banger after banger. So good. And we had 2 people come out on top. We had Anthony Barella coming out with his 4th Pro Tour win of the season, which is disgusting. And I think people were really quick too, because he started out hot. And then, of course, he slowed down a little bit. Gannon Burr comes out the gates, and everyone's like, no, see, AB was just a flash in the pan. Yo, we got Gannon Burr over here. He's been doing the dang thing. And then AB's like, oh, what's up, son? And then just, boom, just puts it right in your face. Nice to see. I don't think that's like really surprising, though. He, battling with Adam Hammes, just fun to watch. And then on FPO, I think this is really the, I don't want to say important, but it's like the one that everyone's like, oh, let's go, dude.
The bigger storyline, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree as well. So we have Emily Weatherman taking it down. 18 years old, potential rookie of the year. And in second place, right behind her, I'm going to mess it up. I'm so bad. Elizra Midling?
I think Eliezra. Eliezra.
Eliezra?
That's how she pronounced it on our show.
Eliezra.
Eliezra.
Eliezra. Yeah, she ties for second place. And it is just, I understand there are players that are not in the field, continuous storyline that we have from week to week, but it's not like this is some pushover field. There are some proven winners amongst all these players, and they were able to take them down. Funny enough, though, it was weird. I don't know if you watched any coverage, Ben, seeing Owen Scoggins miss a lot of putts. It was actually kind of alarming to see, and I'm not going to say I'm concerned about it because it's Owen Scoggins, and she's no longer the best putter in the field. I think that
Really?
now has gone to yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure it's Silva. I think she is 0.3% better putting percentage right now than Owen Scoggins.
It's a good stat. I did not know that.
Yeah. See, that's an actual stat that I can bring to this, and I'd be like, bro, I heard that. You know, bro.
Yeah.
So cool to see that. Emily Weatherman. It's so funny every single time that we have a person that comes, like wins, and then they get interviewed. They always say the same thing. How are you feeling right now? I don't know. It's almost to a degree where it's like I feel like we should wait instead of immediately interviewing, because how could they think about something that they haven't even contemplated that they just did it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is for that, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
let's dive on that. Let's dive on that time more because I think that's a good topic. But first and foremost, I'll say like, yeah, I think it was she started her first Elite Series ever 122 days ago, or in her first start in the Pro Tour, and already has a win. It's incredible, and I think it's a testament. It's kind of like what we're seeing with Caitlin Clark. We see these veterans, these Paige Pierce, these Kristens, these Katrina Allens, these Sarah Hocoms that inspire these young girls to kind of like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And I think we're going to start seeing that more and more, that like Eliezra just absolute bombs 500 feet. Like she, like, it's like she's once in a lifetime, not lifetime, once in a decade distance, like for only being 16. It's absolutely incredible, and I think we're going to see the FPO competition get harder and harder and harder and harder to win in, as like these young girls who see these who have been following these veterans all their lives and be like, you know what, I can do this. And I think that's a classic case of Eliezra and Emily Weatherman, where it's just, you know, they realize disc golf can be a career. And I think the FPO is in for a culture shock in a few years. And I think it's going to, you know, get a little flip-flopped who we're seeing up on top. And I mean, we saw it with Gannon Burr. He's so dominant and one of the best players, currently the number one player in the world, rankings-wise. And he got to start, like, you know, 3 years ago when he was just like a young 6-year-old kid, and people were like, okay, this kid's special. So I think we're going to see a lot more people coming out of nowhere that have been grinding for 15 years of their life, and they're only, well, I guess that doesn't make sense, 10 years of their life, and they're only 15, 16. So I think
Came out the womb practicing, boy.
I think we're going to see a lot more just like younger, kind of like in basketball, where these college players that go straight to the NBA and are pretty much dominant right away sometimes. But I think we're going to see the younger crowd kind of start lifting the talent pool and what it takes to win in a pro tour. Is going to get harder and harder. And I think we've seen it in golf already, where it's just like these golfers that are elite in winning these majors are like extremely good and have been playing since they were like 2 and have just like dedicated their whole lives to that. I think we're going to see that more and more, and we're going to see you know, a crazy upswing.
Yeah, look at a year ago. I mean, these are two players, obviously they were doing their thing, but we didn't know about them. And here we are, and they're first and second place. So they're out there. I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in our own little world, and we don't really expect other people to come in. And especially now when we have all these players that are off away at different tournaments and injuries, whatnot, everybody's eating right now. And I think they probably like how it feels. So they're not really going to be too quick. They're not going to be too quick to want to give that up. So who knows what will happen? You know, European Open, we'll have like a bunch of people that come together that we haven't seen in a little bit, and it should make for some good golf.
And yeah, let's go back to like the point you were making of the announcers.
Jumping the winner.
Yeah, that's a good topic, and it's been a topic for the past year or so, and it's been like there's the camp of, you know, let them breathe and celebrate.
I think there's validity to it.
Yeah.
So I go ahead. You can go first.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think that there's a problem with, you know, fresh right there on the win talking to them, but I don't know. Maybe you don't ask them like, how does it feel? Because that kind of just seems like the dead end question that I feel like most people have a problem with. Because that's like the typical answer where it's like, I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't have, another question that maybe would be more enticing as a viewer to want to hear. But maybe, think about like different questions that we could ask on those moments.
Well,
what do you think?
I think I personally think it's a great question personally to ask because I know it's, cliche. It's like the standard question that you have to ask, but I think it sets up for wonderful moments. Like, yeah, sometimes some people are going to say, I don't know but some people are going to say like, we saw Kat Mertz in her interview, like screaming and crying. And,
Yeah.
when after KG, one of the most iconic lines in the world after the Boston Celtics won in 2008, KG says, anything is possible right after
Mm.
he won. So I think it's a valid question because I think it's the most important question. You just won your first pro tour. I think maybe asking that for someone like Anthony Barella, who's just won his fourth, isn't probably as warranted because it's just like, I feel like, it feels great because he's already won, but maybe it's more of a question of just like, like, how do you feel and how did you, what was the mindset? Maybe a follow-up question between, for like more seasoned winners. Cause yeah, I get what you're saying when you're asking like, Anthony, bro, how do you feel? It feels great. Like, to get another win.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's tough. It's valid. And
Yeah. What if it's just kind of like reworded, where if you kind of say like, "What are your thoughts?" or like, "You just won." Like, what are your takeaways? Or yeah, I don't know. It sounds weird while I say it, but at the same time, I feel like it kind of gives like a better understanding of what people are trying to say when they say, "How does it feel?"
yeah, it's tough. I personally don't have a problem. And to go further, I don't think I have a problem either with. I think I have an issue when the interviewers like they just win, and it's like 30 seconds later they're interviewing them. I think you should let them have their moment, talk to the fans, hug their
Mm.
players, and I think that's what they do pretty consistently now. I know last year was
Yeah.
more just like, here's the trophy. How do you feel? Like, so I think
Yeah.
because
They're putting, giving them the trophy.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's important to let them have their moment, but I also think it's important to pretty much interview them on the field thereafter because you get emotions and feelings and answers that you can't really describe after like
Once you've had time to think.
5-6 minutes where it's just like this
Mm.
fresh thing. So I think it's what the fans want, and I think you just give them their time. I don't think you interrupt them if they're taking 5 minutes. Let them take 5 minutes. But I think once they're like, okay, like let's interview, then let's interview because we wouldn't have these special moments with when Simon wins, how he interacts with the crowd and high fives everyone. If they were just like going straight up and they don't really do that. So I think it's valid to interview them. It just let them kind of celebrate and enjoy. And then once they're like, okay, you can see kind of this lull of just like, then it's like, okay, let's interview.
Yeah, it might be more field based because you have something like Maple Hill last year, or MVP Open rather, and Matt Oram wins from Chase Card, and they're just focused on him the whole time while lead card comes in. They're like, just like watching him sign discs and whatnot.
Yeah, because
and
it was like a guarantee
obviously everyone's
gonna win.
right, and everyone's just like can't wait. They're like, what is he going to say? What is he feeling right now? So yeah, it might not be like a cut clear answer when you do it. It might be more feel based, which is kind of a cop out lame answer. But I think that's like a unspoken aspect of commentating that it's all about timing and what you have to say like combined.
Agreed.
So who knows? We're just two guys on a podcast.
How do you feel?
Ben, is there anything else that we didn't even cover?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think we covered the Moine challenge in a more opinion based. So if you guys like that, that's what we're sticking with. More storylines coming from it.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't really talk about AB, so maybe we'll touch on that. Just his fourth win. Oh, you did say flash in a plan, but I guess I'll extend on that.
Yeah.
It's his fourth win. We have the battle between Gannon and AB at this point. See who can come out top with the more wins. And yeah, it's pretty exciting that he's finally kind of coming into his own. And he had that European Open last year where he could have won and just absolutely blew up. But I think kind of like Braeden was saying, you gotta win his Jomas. It's good that he experienced this, so next time he goes out, he can you know, be like, I've already done this. I can do this. And I think that's kind of the point AB's at. Once you get that monkey at the bat, it's like, all right, I know how to win. Now it's time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of like the frustrating answer. It's like, oh, I just got to like keep putting in my time until I understand it. It's not like it's like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this, and it's like, okay, I can win. Yeah, everyone's going to be different in that, but yeah, if that's everything, then
I think that's it. I think it was a good show. I'm glad we got Braeden on and to talk, and we got Sajko. You gave a lot of good answers and kind of led that interview, so thanks for doing that.
cool.
If you have anything else you want to say, then...
No. Just
All right.
appreciate all listeners checking out this podcast. I mean, we enjoy doing it, but at the same time, it's nice that people listen to it, and it's not just the two of us talking out into the void. So appreciate you taking the time, because
keep going, Sajko. I'm sorry.
I was going to say there's so many disc golf podcasts out there now, and the fact that people give time to listen to our podcast, really means a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, before, this is kind of off the cuff. I kind of want to just see what our last episode's downloads were, because it got like 130 views on YouTube somewhere, and it was our second most viewed. So let's check it out and leave a comment below so we can talk about it. And please rate us on Spotify
apps
and Apple. So yeah, we had 92 downloads of the Hooligan Disc. So that's about, like, let's just say
that's crazy, man.
Almost 300 individual listeners altogether listening. So if you're one of those 300, DM us at Funsie Pod. We'd love to talk to you. We love talking to our fans, and just tell us what you like, what you don't like, and yeah, give us a rating. We'd really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thank you guys, and we will until next week when Jay Millie is back in the house. Man's on vacation.
Colorado. Funsie.
Funsie.
Bye. Thank you.